Jai Shri Mataji. We can all bow down, take a bandhan, raise our kundalinis, and take a bandhan. Let's all pleasantly place ourselves towards ourselves. Srimati, by your grace, may we be pleasantly placed towards ourselves. May we have enlightened attention. May our spirit emit the light of your glory. And by your grace, may our brains also be enlightened. so that whatever we do, say, desire, is directed by your light, by your grace. Now, from that space of peace and meditativeness within us, from our hearts, with complete surrender and joy, let's invoke the name of Shri Ganesha, who enlightens, makes holy, and gives joy wherever. Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. We'll take his name once more. Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganeshaya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. We'll take his name 2 more times. Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganeshaya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganeshaya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Now within ourselves, let us all humbly request and pray that, O Lord Ganesha, by your grace, the innocence that you have bestowed on us, we pray that by your grace, wherever we go, we emit that innocence and that chastity, so that whoever we meet can feel their own light within themselves and have the desire to not only know, but also to become the pure spirit. Let's express from our hearts that Shrimadji, we have been so blessed by all your grace, all that you've taught us, all that you worked so hard to give to all mankind. Our one desire is that in our desires, in our actions, in our words, in our thoughts, we just want to please you. Kindly make us worthy of you. You're the one who enlightens all our chakras. You're the grace, the dignity, the joy, and the splendor of this universe. Kindly enlighten us so that your light emits and enlightens many more lights. May we grow in our humility, in peace within us, in joy within us, and in complete surrender to your holy lotus feet. Now we'll take invoke Lord Christ and take his name. Shri Jesus Mary. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jesus Mary Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. O Lord Christ, O Mother Mary, We all surrender to you. Kindly make us compassionate, peaceful, forgiving, joyful, and never scared to say and to stand by the truth. We humbly bow to you and request you and pray to you to bless us. Now we'll offer the three Mahamantras. Enshrining Srimadji's feet in our hearts, in our attention, and in our sahasrara. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Shri Mahasaraswati Shri Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradayani Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Now let's pray to our Father. O Shri Sadashiva, kindly give us complete satisfaction in our hearts Give us joy in our hearts. Give us bliss in our hearts. And may the whole world be blissful. Give us love. And the capacity to love this whole universe, which is your creation. So that this whole world, all mankind, is one in love at your holy lotus feet. Kindly give salvation to mankind which is suffering. And may the desire to know themselves start to manifest in them. Kindly take us to your lotus feet and cleanse us with your love. Kindly forgive us for mistakes that we make, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And give us the capacity and the power to correct ourselves and make ourselves whole. Kindly forgive those who have harmed, who may have tried to harm us. Your grace is beyond our comprehension. Let us eternally be at your lotus feet. Jai Shri Mataji. Karucharanam Kritam va Kaya Karma Jamva Shravanayana Jamva Manasam Vaparadham Vihatam va Sarvameva Shamasva Jai Jai Karunabdhe Shri Mahadeva Shambhu Jai Jai Karunabdhe Shri Mahadeva Shambhu Jai Jai Karunabdhe Shri Mahadeva Shambhu.
Huh? Oh, it is not a loudspeaker. Oh, I see. So then, so this is just, and he had started, you see, doing some sort of tricks, which I did feel about him, that he had started doing some tricks about his realization. Because that's the only thing one has to be very careful that one can get into. And he had gathered spirits because he got interested in curing too much. I told him not to cure anymore. I said, you can give my photograph, but don't get into curing part, because if you get the spirits, you wouldn't even know and you will be insensitive to it. And then you'll have problems. And then he had such funny spirits in him that those people who came to him, see, were influenced to give him money by those spirits. And some people were compelled, I mean, they couldn't help it. The only idea that worked into their heads was that they must give money to him. But this was nothing. He started showing my photograph in the eyes, and photograph of Sai Baba in the eyes, and all sorts of nonsensical things. Hello. How are you? How is your back?
My back. I couldn't go.
And that's how he did lots of bad things. So one has to be careful when you see somebody, this happening to someone who has gone ahead. Be careful about it, because ego, you see, can betray you. He felt that he was a great Sahajogi and he is doing such a lot of work and he must do a lot of curing. Actually, your attention should not be too much on curing, because if you catch also, you would not know after some time, and the whole thing will become, hello Sudha, how are you? Come forward. So now we have to be very, very careful as to what we are doing and how we are going to go ahead with Sahaja Yoga. Very good. We have to keep the purity of Sahaja Yoga. It's Shuchita. It's called as Shuchita. It's the purity of Sahaja Yoga. You must understand Sahaja Yoga in its pure form. That now when you have got the yoga, you have to settle down and also purify yourself in relation to Sahaja Yoga. Because so far you have not felt the absolute before getting realization. See, realization is that you become one with the absolute. You know the absolute. Once you know the absolute, then only you can know the relative. Unless and until you know the absolute, you are in confusion, because everything is relative. And that's why nobody knows what is really right and what is not. So you have to have an absolute point. Like you have 1 meter in Paris, which is a fixed thing. Then when you say it is 10 meter, then it is 10 times of that meter which is in Paris. But because we have not found out our absolute, we are in confusion. And in that confusion, anybody can take advantage of it. So the first thing is that we must find out our absolute. And the absolute is the spirit. Spirit is existing and creating waves without any percussion. For example, if I have to make a sound, I have to clap my hand with one to another. Or else you can understand this way. Supposing you put air, supposing you throw a stone in the pond, then the waves start rising in the pond. That means the stone has to hit the water to create that pattern of waves. But can you think of some stone which is in the pond without any percussion creating the sound. That's why it is said that spirit is nispanda. It doesn't, we shouldn't say it doesn't vibrate. It does vibrate, but doesn't create the spandana. It is not the thing that goes into any percussion. Just without any percussion, it creates. For example, I'm sitting here. You can feel my vibrations, the waves are coming. Without any percussion. It just emits. In the same way, your spirit, when you feel it, when you touch it, through your kundalini, when it is awakened, it is an awakened thing, but when it is connected with your attention, then your attention receives those waves without percussion, which flow in your hands as Chaitanya Dhari, as these waves. And because it is coming from the Absolute, you can get a complete answer about the Absolute from this. And on this point, so many people have got realization in it, that you can ask any absolute question and have a realization. That's why first is yoga, then kshema. First is the yoga, means the unity, or as called in Sanskrit yukti, of your attention is called as jiva, and your spirit called as Shiva. These two must meet. Unless and until they meet, you cannot reach your Absolute. And once you have felt the Absolute, you can decide all the rest relatively. In Sanskrit it is apara, is Absolute. That there is no paraspara, means there's nothing relative about it. It's an absolute thing. But as you have seen, that to know it also, you take time, fully. To be submerged into it, you take time. This growth takes time. And that's why one has to be careful. Not only careful, but one has to be alert, and one has to work it out. To be absolutely one with it, one has to mature. The maturity point starts when the germination starts. If you are not even germinated, how will you mature? So the maturity starts after realization. You start also kshema, you get your kshema, means your well-being after yoga, and then you gradually start maturing. And once you mature understandingly, properly, you have to keep a certain amount of purity, shuchita. That one has to keep. If you do not keep that shuchita, that purity within yourself, and that truthfulness about it, you won't progress that fast. I mean, it is nobody else's business. It is your own business. It is for you to do it. If you don't do it, you are the loser. I mean, the attitude of all the seekers has to be that of a seeker. That means you are seeking. And when you are seeking, you are asking for it. You are asking for a gift. Now, whatever is to be done for getting that gift, one has to do with full understanding, with full maturity. Now, when the maturity starts also, in the beginning, some people are quite confused. If they are able to get out of that confusion, then they can establish themselves. But if they cannot, if they still remain in the same confusion, then they can be there, they can be lost, and they can never get out of it. This confusion has to be fought. has to be faced, has to be seen. Now, the confusion comes because of conditionings you have had. Lots of conditionings you have had. You have had lots of brainwashing. Also, you have had physical problems, mental problems, and also the atmosphere and all kinds of other things that have spoiled your instrument. But because of Kundalini awakening, your chakras get enlightenment. And as through enlightenment, you can see everything. Now, if there is no enlightenment in this room, you just don't know how to correct it. But when there is enlightenment, you start correcting yourself and rising higher and higher. Some people achieve maturity much faster than the others, despite the fact they may have been ruined by many, but still they do it. What does it work? What makes it very quick is the left side, what we call as the Mahakali's power, or we can call it as Ichha Shakti, the power of desiring. If the power of desiring is very strong and comes from your heart, absolutely from your heart, then it works much faster. So one has to develop an innate feeling from the heart. See, nobody else is going to look at you. If you want, you can deceive yourself. If you want, you can lag behind. But only from your heart you have to feel it, that you have to mature into it. You have to come up to it. Once you put your heart to it, everything will work out well. Because the whole force is coming from your heart. Because in the heart resides the spirit. So, only judging point is, am I doing it from my heart? Am I doing it superficially? And only thing that you do from your heart gives you real joy. And when you really do it from your spirit, then it should give you the greatest happiness and joy. And you yourself now, so many of you are receiving the blessings of joy, the blessings of oneness with others, friendship, the pure friendship, pure relationships, of just enjoying each other's spirit. Not anything else, not the body, not the mind, the intellectual pursuits and talking and all that, but just feeling each other's spirit and the fragrance of that. So nice to see you all again here. Now, say we have problems of different types. I think it is more pertaining to the country and pertaining to the, I would say it's little localized type. Like Bombay people have their own problems. And Delhi people have their own problem. And most of them have the same style. It's most surprisingly. And we can say people from a village, or particular village, and the style of that village is, they have their own problems. So the mother soil has also do something about it. And now, in Bombay, I would say we have really some very great Sahajogis, very deep people. But so far, the social side has been very poor. In the sense, it didn't spread this way. It went very deep. And the roots have to go down. And there are very few roots that are really required. But the branches didn't spread out. Delhi is another. Delhi are like branches. They went round like that. And I think London are the fruits, I should say, or the flowers here. That the way things are. But very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. Because of being so placed, you see, and so many bees are hovering around. All kinds of problems are there facing you of developing immunity to all sorts of surroundings. Now, if I exclude you completely from the madding crowd, as you call it, then it will happen that you may not develop that immunity which you should have. And if you go too near to these people also, you might be affected, which you do get affected because there are horribly negative people there. So the best thing would be that first of all you develop yourself, your Sahajogis together, develop good bonds among yourselves and form a group, and then go on enlarging that group as a whole. And that would be the best way. We can all be protected, and somehow it is working out that way. I'm very happy. You have taken a very sane attitude towards things. Now, talking to other people about Sahaja and about this method of realization, which is the only method, I find that in the West, already people have gone on other lines. To them, sex is more important than anything else. To them, money is more important than anything else, sort of things are there. So when you talk to them about it, you see, they may recoil on that point. So you have to sit down and develop a brain trust among yourself, because it's a very delicate matter how to impress these people. So instead of impression, you might create depression in their minds. So best thing is to sit down and discuss among yourselves, because you are one of them and they are one of you. And you know what are their problems, you see, how certain things are suddenly accentuated so much. And the main thing is, the main argument would be, what's wrong? See, that's what I faced. What's wrong? And what goes wrong with it? Unless and until they come to Kundalini awakening, they would not know what's wrong, because then they will see for themselves that the Kundalini is stopped and it won't rise because of this point and this point. But they won't come, you see. So how to bring the bull to the fodder? That's the problem. Somehow or other, you have to sit down, all of you, because now we have mostly Sahajogis, and find out ways and methods of how to approach these people. One day you have a discussion among yourselves, because I may not be such a good guide on that point. I think you would be the best to deal with the intellectuals of this country and the leaders of this country and the people who are supposed to be models and ideals for the rest of the people. So you can see for yourself what is so impressive about them and how to bring this to their heads, that if you do all these things which you do not see how harmful they could be. But for that, in India what they have done, for example, as I was talking to you about Rajneesh, 3-4 doctors got hold of some of the people who have been to Rajneesh, you see, just because they became little nutty there. They got hold of them and then they examined them thoroughly. And then they found out what was the matter. And they published a paper about it. See, like that, if you can, because you see, they had complete faith in righteousness, in leading a sane life and all that. So they wanted to know whether they were correct or not. When they found out those people and they found out the problems they had, naturally they could write about it. Something like that should be done, I think, to convince people that these methods, if you take to, though apparently they do not show any bad results, but inside they create such problems and vacuums, and they are so injurious, and how ego itself is injurious, and how ego is pampered by these things. If you could talk to them in that fashion, it would be a good idea. That's for the Sahajogis. If you have any questions you can ask me, then we'll deal with the newcomers who have come down. From the Sahajogis, any questions? I don't see John Don.
Don's in Cambridge now.
Huh? He's still there.
He's gone there now.
Yes, so now joined it. Yeah. So, any one of you have any questions on Sahaj Yoga, you ask me. That's better. Then I'll talk to the new people. So, how are you? Better? Everyone seems to be very much better. How are you, Lindsay? तुमचं कसं काय? ठीक आहे एकदम? तब्येत ठीक आहे? हे काय?
तुमच्या स्तोत्र केलं.
स्तोत्र केलं संस्कृतात. She's written a poem in Sanskrit. Good. For your information, Rajesh is also getting married now. He's marrying a girl from England. She's Chandaria. You might have seen that one. You must have seen her. Some of you have seen her. She's a very good girl. So, our family is going to increase now in size. So, no questions? Something? Chendo? All in thoughtless awareness? I mean, the name of our Sahaj Yoga is really Maha Yoga. It's the one where you meet, you know. So this is a Maha Yoga. Because the whole thing has been Sahaja only. From the very beginning, it is spontaneous, everything. I mean, our nose, eyes, everything has come to us spontaneous. We've done nothing about it. But now, the thing where we really meet the ultimate, that's the point is called as Maha Yoga, means the greatest yoga. Like, till I came here, till you didn't see me, it was still halfway. So yoga was not there. Whatever it was not real yoga. You were making preparations, you were making all the arrangements and everything was there. But when we meet is the yoga. So the point where you meet is the real place, and that's why it is the Mahayoga. Like I'm coming to London by plane. Till Frankfurt I am not in London. Till I have landed in London also I am not there because I haven't yet met you. Till I met you at the gate, there was no yoga. So that's the point. That's the moment, split of the moment where you meet your spirit is the yoga. So it is actually Mahayoga, but in the beginning I didn't want to call it a Mahayoga because as it is the serpents of ego where it all their complete hood on top of my head. So I said, better start it with Sahaja. Because if I said this is Mahayoga, they would all come and hit me hard saying that, oh God, how can that be? But it is that. And now it is being established that there is something about it, that it is working out because people have seen the Kundalini rising, they have seen the all the chakras being awakened and everything with their own eyes, and now they believe in it, that they know that there is something about it, that it is happening, and there's something about this lady also that this is happening. Otherwise it is a difficult thing. I mean, it is very difficult, no doubt. To raise the Kundalini is very difficult. But it would be something like a very naive person trying to do something, like first putting the hands in the plug, then writing one book that Kundalini means you get a shock. Then another book, that electricity means you get another shock, like that. 3-4 books will come out like that. And people would start believing that electricity means that you get a shock, you get a heart attack, you start jumping with it. But the one who knows what is electricity is the only one who is a Sahaja Yogi. But the one who, supposing, has done all the job of connections and things, is the best engineer. And for such a person, everything is just a play. About certain diseases in this country also, I have been able to find out what we can do. Is one of them is this gout, or what you call this arthritis. It's absolutely curable. But I was thinking we need not tell them how we do it, because let them come to realization. Then we'll give them. It's very simple. Is there somebody suffering from that? You are. All right. That is because in your neck. Yes, but still, it will work out in no time. I can tell you how it is to be done. But that's where I may not help you, but all others can. It is because of too much vibrations there you are getting it. So if somebody, any Sahaja Yogi can put a hand, Regis, you put your hand on his back and on his this thing, and just put your hand outside, and it will be all going out in the atmosphere.
Did you manage to bring any of the books back?
The books. You know, your Sahaja Yogi disciples, your Sahaja Yogi friends, I should say, or your brothers and sisters are ashamed about it. But what to do, you see, this is our country is getting expert in being inefficient. And they also started some strike in the ports, you see. So the ships were not sent. Bombay, they stopped sending all the ships from Bombay. So most of the ships were coming from Calcutta or from Madras. So I told them, you better send all the books to Madras or to Bombay and to Calcutta and send them over. But then, it was a very hazardous things to do. Somebody has to go by with the books, and all the way they have to go by train, and somebody has to put them. So then I told them that what is the maximum time? Then they said 15th of this month a ship is leaving. I said, all right, so we can expect it within, say, a month's time, from the 15th onward. So the books would be down here very soon. Before that, you make all the preparations and things for the book. And they said that there is no income tax for books in England, and we have been unnecessarily worrying about it. So the books are all ready, all packed up. They wanted to send a load with me, but I said, now who's going to pay for the freight? Because if I had come by Air India, I could have brought a big thing. But you see, I couldn't come by Air India. So also I couldn't bring the thing. But doesn't matter, it would be coming in any case. And people have given very great report about the book, that it has come out very well. And it's very, very nicely explained, most of the things. But one has to go into details now. Somebody is translating it in Marathi and also in Hindi. But we have to go now into details of many things. Now, in the book still, it is not mentioned that this is the last judgment. I don't know if I have told you already that this is the last judgment about which we have been hearing. This is how you are going to be judged. And that part we have not yet said in the book, which one has to see. After all, this is how you are going to be judged. What else? Poor Gregor is learning German now. So I never received any letter from him, neither I, but some was saying that he's got his address, his brother's address also. We should find out. But some other book should come out from you people, a smaller book, which can be given to people who are not yet realized or something, would be much better. Who are all the new people who have come today? Can you come forward? Please come. Please come.
That from all over the world, people have gathered to worship Shiva. Actually, we should say this is Sadashiva that we are going to worship. And you know the difference between Sadashiva and Shri Shiva. Sadashiva is the God Almighty. And He is a witness of the play of the primordial mother. The combination between Sadashiva and the primordial mother, Adishakti, is just like a moon and the moonlight. of the sun, of the sunlight. We cannot understand such relationship in human beings, among human marriages or among human relationships. So whatever the Adi Shakti is creating, which is the desire of Sadashiva, is being witnessed by him. And when he is watching this creation, he is witnessing all of it, into all detail. He witnesses the whole universe, and he also witnesses this Mother Earth, all the creation that is done by the Adi Shakti. His power is of witnessing. And the power of Adi Shakti is his all-pervading power of love. So the God Almighty, the Father, the primordial Father, expresses his desire, his Ichha Shakti, as the primordial Mother. And she expresses her power as love. So the relationship between the two is extremely understanding, very deep, and whatever she is creating, if he finds there is some problem, or there are people, human beings especially, who are trying to obstruct her work, or even the gods who are not the deities are trying to express their egos, he is the one who brings forth their destruction. So he is the one who is responsible for the destructive power. He is reflected in the hearts of human beings. Among all the creations, he pulsates. But that pulsation is the energy of the primordial life. And he can destroy anything that goes against the plans of the Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti is love. She forgives and she loves. She loves the creation. She wants the creation to prosper, to go up to the same level for which it was created. She wants human beings to go to that level where they enter into the kingdom of God, kingdom of Sadashiva. Where there is bliss, there is forgiveness, there is joy. All this is only possible if you have seen that you have also a innate desire to be there. This desire within us is reflected as the reflection of the primordial Mother. Now this desire is there, and other mundane desires are also there, which stop the progress of pure ascent. In Sahaja, we have never tried to overcome the desires by taking sannyasa or running away from the house or for all kinds of things that are being suggested. The first thing that is done is that you get the light of your spirit. Spirit is the reflection of Sadashiva. In that light, he shows. He is just showing them. The spirit is just like a light which is burning and which is showing the path. In that path, you yourself become so wise that you walk in the light of wisdom, that you walk in the light of righteousness. Because whatever is destructive is seen through the light of your spirit. You start giving up all that is destructive. Nobody has to tell you that give up this, give up that. You yourself realize that this is wrong and we should do. This was, I should say, my own understanding of human beings. Because these are the days where people are in complete illusions. They are in a conflict all the time, struggling even to exist. Under these circumstances, everything would have failed if you had started taking a sannyasa and then going to Himalayas and all that. If you have to do this for the masses, something has to be done radical, and luckily I've been able to find out a way by which you can get your sprouting, your realization. Now some people who get realization have to understand certain things because as you know there are many people who have got realization. I don't know how many, I don't keep count. But what is lacking in them is surrender. It's embarrassing to say, but it is a fact. This is the only condition of modern surgery, that you have to really surrender. If you start using your brain, if you start using other methods to understand surgery, you can. You must surrender. And Islam is nothing but surrender. Islam means surrender. And if that surrender is not there, it is impossible to establish anyone in the kingdom of God. Surrender is not that you should give up your family, give up your children, or give up your houses and homes and your properties. Surrender is here, give up your ego to begin with, and then give up your conditions. For example, the other day I met one gentleman, and he's suffering a lot. So I asked him, who is your guru? So he gave me one name of a guru. I said, he's not done any good to you. Will you give him up? He said, tomorrow. I said, why not today? He said, today. But I have to throw away all his things, so tomorrow morning I said, all right. What should I throw away, mother? I said, then all the things with which you worship him, throw. Then he went round the whole house, found out whatever was there, which was used for worshipping him. Everything he gathered together, threw in the sea. And then he told the sea that I'm sorry, I have suffered a lot because of this land. Now you please don't suffer. So this kind of a very penetrating intelligence if you don't have, you cannot give up. One sticks to that. I know also many who find it so difficult to get rid of their conditionings. That's more difficult than ego. But then conditionings and conditioning that you have. We have first conditioning that supposing you are born in India or England or any place. After certain have seen most of the people, they suddenly start seeing what's wrong with their countrymen, what's wrong with their country, what's wrong with their religion, what's wrong with the books they were reading. Immediately they start seeing it clearly that this was a mistake. This is wrong. They all make fun of it. I've seen people all over the world. Nobody says that no, because we are English, we are the best, we are Russians, we are the best, or we are Indians, we are the best. Immediately they find out what's wrong with them and why these people are not getting realization. On the other hand, they feel such compassion that whether so many people haven't got their realization. Why should we try to give them realization? This is the double action of this light. Firstly, you know that there is light and that you have become the light. So wherever your attention goes, you start seeing reality. And then you understand that this has been the conditioning of our country, of our society. And then they abhor all that is wrong. They never identify. But first thing, as I said, is surrendering. In surrendering, actually, you develop a kind of a state where I would say you become a sannyasi from within. That means nothing and only. What is the sannyasi? Is a person who is above everything else. Nothing can stick to. He just looks at things and he knows what to do. He may not say. He knows everything. And he doesn't do whatever is done. He's so detached that in that detachment only he can see what's wrong. He starts seeing his family people, he starts seeing other surroundings, everywhere. He starts seeing what's wrong. And he does not identify it. It's very surprising. I have seen it. I went to Turkey. In Turkey I went to one gentleman who was running a big Swiss hotel. And he came himself to me and said, "Mother, give me realization." I was surprised because I didn't see this man, Switzerland, such an anxious personality would ask for realization. Very surprised that in Turkey should ask for realization. And I gave him realization. And immediately he said, "I am not going to go back to Switzerland." Just imagine. You see, it is so clear that this life definitely gives you tremendous wisdom and balance. Supposing you are walking and you can't see the road, you may fall down. But if there is little light also you can see. And this is what Saj Yoga has done. It's given you very little light. That little light itself has been sufficient for you to give up so many things. Now the other side of it is the ego one. Ego is very subtle stuff with human beings. I don't know how they gather it, but they do. And some of them have such a gullible ego that with the slightest thing it shoots up. And they get very angry for small things. Or if they find somebody whom they can dominate also that. Now this ego, when you start seeing it, you just start laughing at yourself and think that what's wrong with me. Ego is not like conditioning which is coming from outside, but ego is something that comes from within. It can come from anything. Human beings have ego of all kinds of nonsensical things. One day I met one lady and she was very proud and was not even smiling. I said, what's the matter with this lady? What is she? So they told me she knows how to make dolls, that's why she's so proud. To make dolls. She's so proud? Yes, she can make dolls. So she's so proud. I said, what is there? Anybody can make dolls. So what is so great? No, but she thinks she's very great because she makes dolls. So a man becomes stupid and stupid. That is first sign of an egoistical person. He's so stupid that when you're talking to him, you just get flabbergasted. That without paying anything, you have got a buffoon before you who is showing all you jokes of his buffoonery. It's something very surprising. I mean, you meet any egoistical person and you just watch him. I do this, I am, I. Then you start seeing the person, what's the matter? He's not even ashamed to say things that should not be said. Then he goes even to the sinful life they lead. They lead a very sinful life, they follow women, they drink and this and that. Then they start boasting about that also. I drank that day so much, I had 5 women around me. They start boasting of that also. So for an egoistical man, there is nothing like Shiv. He will go on telling about his nonsensical thing and everybody will say, oh my God, with whom are we talking? And then, whatever they do, they testify. I asked one fellow, you had such a bad heart attack. Why do you drink now? Give up drinking. He said, but even this person, Kirloskar, we have one in Pune, who is now I think 95, he drinks. So I said, you are not Kirloskar. And even if he drinks, what's the use? What is he gaining by that? No, see, it's very good. Because see, he drinks and he is so successful. Is he successful because of drinking? But even ordinary reasoning is not. Ordinary reasoning. And in the general way, if you see, even if you see the greatest developed countries, I have never seen a statue of a man who died of drinking. Never. I have not seen in any country people are praising a man because he had 10 women or he died of drinking. So far. I don't know how far human beings can go in their ego. Now this ego is spread very much in modern times, where they start saying, I like this, I don't like this. What you don't like? I don't like this kind of a sari, I don't like this kind of clothes, I don't like this. But who are you? You are not going to see yourself, others are going to see. So what difference does it make whether you like it or not? But it's very common with young people to talk like that, I like it. And this is a sign of complete destruction. Because ego is not only this, makes you stupid. You see, all these days the way people dress up, and we find they are very stupid because I like it. So what? Anything they like it, if they want to walk on their heads, I like it. What's wrong? All kinds of stupidity can be explained through ego. So those who get realization, some or other, thank God, see it. This is my ego doctrine. Then they start laughing at themselves, making fun of themselves. This was my ego. But also in Sahaja there are people. I said, why don't you go and organize? Mother, because my ego will come up. I said, what's this? My ego will come up, so I don't want to organize. How can your ego come up? If you see your ego, suppose you see something is burning, you see it there. How can you get that burning out of yourself? But this is a very subtle kind of avoiding work of Sahaja Yoga to say that no, I'll get into it. I said, all right, get into it, I'll see it. Get it, what happens. So all kinds of things there are which makes a person quite idiotic and stupid. I mean, I don't know how many things I can tell you today. But also I've seen in marriages, this is very common. They say that, mother, I married this girl at that time, but now I don't think I should have been married. Oh my God, that time what had happened to you? Why did you marry at that time? I have to tell you these things because I've been facing all kinds of problems of this stupid, idiotic ego. One has to see here how this ego is working with me and how it is keeping me down. So when we talk of ascent, we talk of a higher life. We have to become sannyasi, like the lotus that comes out of a pond and no water can stay up. Even the leaves of lotus, no water can stay up. Just like that we have to become. We don't have to wear sannyasi's dresses, nothing like that. But from inside, a kind of a detached attention is there, which immediately locates the problem within you and without. And also in Sahaja Yoga, you know how to overcome. It's a very effective, efficient system. But for that again, achieve that, you have to become Shiva, means detached. And Shiva is completely detached. You have to be detached. And that detachment will give you the same wisdom as Shiva has. Shiva sees, we should say Sadashiva sees the birth of Adishanta. Silently. He doesn't get proud, he doesn't develop a kind of ego that see now what my Ichhashakti is doing. Nothing. He just watches. But when it comes to destruction, he sees that this path is going to destroy the world. Immediately he destroys, removes that. In the same way, we have to see our life itself is a big field. How do we consider ourselves? I see people talk, oh, so what, I'm sorry. You can't talk like that because with folded hands you have to say, I'm a surgeon. In your behavior, in your thought, in everything, you have to be a person who is extremely humble. If that is not so, that means Sahaja Yoga has given you double ego. As it is, you know that Shiva is known for his innocence, for his simplicity, his forgiveness. He forgives. He forgives Rakshasa, he forgives everyone. That is his quality. But anybody who goes against the primordial mother, he doesn't spare. So this is the quality one has to understand. Surrendering doesn't mean outside things to be surrendered. What is there? These are all stones. What are you surrendering? Surrendering means cleansing yourself completely, getting completely detached. Detachment is the only way you can rise. Some people get sick. They make such an ado out of it. I'm sick, the whole world should know I'm sick. But if you are a surgery, you should just watch. Oh, so I'm sick, alright, let's see. Just check the sport. Just watch. I'm sick. So, what's happening now? The temperature is coming nicely, it's going down. You just sort of a playful, thoughtful attention. When I came, I had temperature, but nobody believes I had temperature. I was so tired in the marriage, they said, you don't look tired. I said, all right. In the same way, life also is to be played. It's just a play. And that play can be seen through the light of this. Nothing is so serious. For surgery, nothing is so serious. But he becomes very serious and he makes too much ado about himself. There are lots of things which we have to learn. When we worship Shiva, we praise him. You are this, you are that, you are that. When you worship me also you praise me. You are this, I am not aware of all that you say. But you say alright, you say so it's alright. You are this, you are that, there's 1,000 names of Shiva, 1,000 names of the goddess, 1,000 names of God. These are their names you are worshiping. What about you people? How many names you can have? Actually, in the Puja, when you take the names of these Shaktis, they also get awakened. No doubt. After Puja, you do feel that. But you don't utilize them. So many people I've seen have come in the Puja. And they have got that power within themselves. Same power. But by the time they are out, it's finished. It's gone. So, surrendering has another side. Assumption. Assumption. That I am a surrender. And I can absorb all these powers within myself. So one side is surrendering. Why to surrender? To absorb. Automatically, when you are surrendered, you absorb. But once you have absorbed, then you should retain and assume within yourself, know that you have these powers. There where surgery is way more. First time it happened. No surgery would touch anybody, raise anybody's kundalini, this thing, that thing. We had at least 50 surgeries by now. I said, now what to do? I prepared these channels and nobody is even raising their fingers. How am I going to work it out? Very difficult. Once it happened, we had a program in Nasik Road. And I was staying in Nasik. It's about 30 miles from there. So, we reached halfway and our car failed. And nobody, no other car was coming, nothing, no support, nothing. I did the work. But these, all the surgeries had arrived there. I had such a big crowd. They started saying, when is Mataji coming? When is Mataji coming? Such a pressure. So they said, alright, we'll give it a hand. Sit down. And they gave it a hand. That's the first time the surgery started, knowing that they can do relaxation, they can do this, they can do that. They all started after So assumption that I have these powers, I'm not going to waste them, I'm going to use them, I'm going to look after others, I'm not going to just keep to myself. This assumption has to come. Once I was traveling by ship, and one fellow got caught up in the free zone, and he got pneumonia. So the captain came to me that, see, this boy has got pneumonia, we have to get some doctor by helicopter. I said, Captain, I've given you realization, you are a doctor. I said, if you want, I can go down. No. But tell me what to be done. I said, just go and put your hand on his heart first. He said, yes, you. Went down and put his hand. And the fellow got over. He was amazed. Went me now in the wedding. And he was amazed at himself. He said, I can do for anyone? Yes. But if you do not assume and just sit down, meditating, surrendering, what's the use? So, you have to do. Now, after achieving Shiva state, you have to start doing the work of Arisha. You should have this desire that we should spread suffering. We have to work it out. But be careful. Sometimes you might be conditioned, you might be egoistical. Watch yourself. With watching, you can, I'm sure, you can achieve a lot. We have done. Some people who have taken it upon themselves have done it everywhere in every country. So the first thing of surrendering is important to reach the state of your spirit, of Shiva and Sadashiva. But the second state is that you have to now think of others. First, it is, as they say in Sanskrit, is Vyashti, means individual gain. You get the individual gain. And then it becomes Samashti, means the collective. You have to work it out on collective. People who never even got realization, nothing of the kind have been doing so much organization and this and that. While you have got it. So now it is important that you should now extend this life to others. माफ करिए मुझे अंग्रेजी में करनी पड़ी यहाँ वहाँ से काफी लोग आए हैं शिव जी की पूजा में आज तक ऐसे कभी हुआ नहीं और शिव जी के बारे में आप लोग बहुत कुछ जानते हैं और उनकी सारी कहानियां भी आपको सबको मालूम। देखिए उसका सार क्या है, उसका तत्व क्या, शिव जी का तत्व क्या है वो जानते हैं। सो शिव जी जो है उनको कोई चीज छूती नहीं, कोई उनको कुछ भी कहे और जाके माफी मांगे हमें क्या मांगे, उनको कोई चीज मान अपमान सुख दुख कोई चीज उनको छूती नहीं। वो शिव जी बिल्कुल सब चीज से अलग मुख, जिसे कि आदि शंकराचार्य ने शिवोहम कहा। तो पहले आदि शंकराचार्य के समय में शिवोहम की बात हो रही थी, यही बात हो रही थी कि मैं शिव हूँ, ठीक। और ये गति प्राप्त करना ये व्यक्तिगत प्रयत्न से होता है। और उसके बाद जो दूसरी स्थिति है उसमें जिस तरह आदिशक्ति कार्यान्वित है उस तरह आपको कार्य करना चाहिए। नहीं तो ये दोनों कार्य इकट्ठे नहीं हो तो शिव का पद मिलने से फायदा क्या, बैठे हुए। अगर शिव भी सब कार्य कर सकते थे तो उन्होंने आदिशक्ति को क्यों बनाया और आदिशक्ति से क्यों कहा कि आप सब क्रिएट करिए, ये करिए, वो करिए। वो सब करते लेकिन नहीं, उन्होंने कहा एक पद है शिव पद, उस शिव के पद पे पहुंच करके जहाँ पूरी तरह से निरीक्षण, तब फिर आप किसी भी चीज हो गए। अब हम देखते हैं कई कई लोग कहते हैं कि वहाँ सजयोग में एक साहब है वो पैसा खा रहे, सजयोग में आगे बढ़ते खा रहे, वो पैसा खा रहे। कोई है वो अपना ईगो दिखा रहे, अपनी सत्ता दिखा रहे, कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी पागलपन की बातें सहयोग में आने के बाद भी कर रहे। तो कुछ छिपा गई उनकी चीजें, उनको ऐसा हो सकता है, पर वो छुड़ाना चाहिए। क्योंकि अगर आप सहयोग में आए तो पहले आप शिव पद पे आए, माने जिसमें आप पूरी तरह से निरीक्षण, उसके लिए समर्पण, पूरा समर्पण होने पर आप शिव शक्ति में आ सकते हैं। शिव की जो शक्ति है वो यही है कि वो बिल्कुल निरुक्षण, उनके ऊपर कोई चीज का असर नहीं है, ना उनमें अहंकार और नहीं उनमें कोई इसी तरह के भी संस्कार। अब चले आए अपने शादी में बैल पे बैठ के, और बैल दोनों पैर यूं करके बैठे, बैल अपना दौड़ा जा रहा है, ये बच्चे को पकड़े हुए कुछ तरह चले आए। अब वहां पहुंचे तो पार्वती जी को भी शर्म आ रही थी कि ये क्या मेरा दूल्हा ऐसा चला, क्योंकि मस्त है वो। अभी ये नहीं कि घोड़े पे बैठ के और उनके आगे बारात चले, बारात में सारे किसी का एक हाथ तो किसी के दांत गिरे हुए तो किसी का कुछ, तो ऐसे लोग ये चले जाए, क्योंकि उनको ये सब चीजों की कोई एहसास ही इस चीज का कि कौन क्या है, क्या कपड़े पहने हैं, किसकी आंख कहाँ है, कौन किस तरह से बावला सा चला रहा है, कोई बुद्धू जैसे चला रहा है, कोई अर्धनग्न स्थिति में चला रहा है, उनको ये चीज सोचती नहीं। वो तो बिल्कुल निरीक्षण में बैठे। अरे जैसे भी चलो, जो भी साथ मिल गए चलो, अपने यहाँ तो बारात में जाएंगे, ये कपड़े पहन के जाना है, ऐसे जाना है, घोड़े पे बैठना है, फलाना है, बिताना है, और इतना सा कमरे का तू बहुत काम कर रहा है। ऐसे तो नहीं चले वो अपने ऐसे बारात में जैसे है वैसे चलिए, क्योंकि निरीक्षण आता और बोले बोले इसलिए कि फालतू की चीज उनको खोपड़ी आती। बोला जो आदमी होता है ना, उसको चीज नहीं आती। अब मैंने देखा ही है कि बहुत से लोग किसी घर जाए, क्या उन्होंने कारपेट बिछाया होगा, अरे तुम कारपेट से मिले आया कि किसी इंसान से मिले आया? कोई लेडी आई, अरे क्या वो साड़ी पहने, आपको इंसान से मिला है, उसके साथ में उतरो, उसके तत्वों पे जाओ और उसको जानो कि इंसान क्या है। उठ छूट गया एकदम, और बस वो क्या पहने थे और उनके घर में क्या था और फलाना क्या था और ऐसा था वैसा। इतनी नजर जो है ऊपरी नजर से देखने का जो तरीका ये शिव का है। अब उन्हीं को देखिए उनके जीवन में वो कैसे जाके बैठने हिमालय, किसी चीज को उनको परवाह नहीं कि कौन मुझे क्या कहेगा या मुझे कैसे रहना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए कुछ। अब उनकी पहली पत्नी की मृत्यु जब हो गई तो उसके शव को अपने पीठ पे लाद के चल, अब कौन करेगा? उनके सारे तरीके अनोखे हैं, क्योंकि अनोखे हैं। किसी चीज के बारे में उनको ये नहीं है कि ऐसी तरह से होना चाहिए, इसी तरह से होना चाहिए। लेकिन तत्व में देखा जाए तो वो जिस चीज को ठीक समझते हैं उसी को ठीक समझते, और जिस चीज को गलत समझते हैं उसको गलत समझते हैं। ये धारणा है उनकी गलत। यानी उन्होंने अपनी पत्नी तक को दे दिया रावण। अब लोग कहने की तमाशा है, पत्नी को उठा के रावण को दे दिया, और उनको मालूम है कि उसकी पत्नी देवी है, उसको रावण क्या करे, वो किसी को भी दे दे, वो तो साक्षात देवी है, उसको ठीक करके रखेगी रावण। ऐसी जो हमारी प्रवृत्तियां हैं, ये बाह्य का सब चीजें देख, ये बाह्य की आंख जैसे जैसे कम होने लग जाएगी, अंदर की आंख खुलने लग जाएगी। कैसा इंसान अपने लिए ठीक है कि आप अपने लिए ठीक से रहे, ठीक से बात करें, पर कोई किसी तरह का इंसान हो, उसके तत्व को समझिए कि उनसे का अंतर नहीं कैसा। अब कोई देहाती लोग होते, वो बोलते वक्त जरा अक्कड़ कमर से बोलते हैं, किसी की जबान ऐसी होती है, किसी की वैसी होती है, आप उसी पर से नाराज होकर बैठे, तो ये सोचना चाहिए कि ये अच्छा तरीका है, ये भी अच्छी बात है, उसमें कोई बुरा मानने की कोई बात नहीं। अब कोई बड़े तहजीब वाले लोग चले आए, तो वो तहजीब में आप बह जाइएगा, पता चला कि आपकी सब चीज हो गई। तो जो कोई चीज बहुत बार से शुगर बनाई जाती है, अधिक तत्व पाई, इसलिए किसी भी बारी चीजों की तरफ इतना लगाव रखना, देखना गलत है। अब आजकल के जो तरीके चल पड़े हैं, आप देख रहे हैं इस संसार में, खासकर अपने देश में, जो बाहर की संस्कृति यहाँ आ रही है, कितने उसमें बाह्य दृष्टि है लोगों, कितनी है, नहीं तो नहीं होती तो ऐसे सब मिल जाए। गांधी जी थे बेचारे, वो अपनी धोती पहन कर बहुत बेहतर। आप उनको कोई कहेगा कि लंदन में वहां तो 3 पीस सूट करके आज ये कैसे कर, और इसको तो कहना कहते हैं। उसमें सिर्फ ये बात दिखती है कि कुछ लोग तमाशे के लिए तो पहले तो दूसरी बात, पर अंदरूनी जब मनुष्य विमुक्त हो जाता है तो उसको कोई सी भी चीज इतनी महत्वपूर्ण नहीं लगती है सिवाय असलियत। असलियत को मानना, और ये शिव जी का तत्व पहले प्राप्त होना। जब शिव जी का तत्व प्राप्त होगा तभी आप आदिशक्ति का कार्य कर सकते। अब कार्य को करने लगे और शिव जी का तत्व प्राप्त करेंगे तो किस पे इसका असर होने वाला? आप स्वयं शिव है और फिर जो कुछ कार्य कर रहे हैं वो कितना सुंदर हो सकता। किसी ने कुछ कह दिया, कुछ गालियां भी दे दी, कुछ भी कर दी, तो क्या? इसकी व्याख्या श्री कृष्ण की है सिद्ध पर शिव की स्थिति की, जहाँ कुछ नहीं हो रहा बोले, किसी की कहने से क्या, लेकिन अंदर का जो तत्व है वो साफ है, अंदर का तत्व बिगड़ना नहीं, और दूसरों ने अगर बिगड़ा भी है तो भी कोई अर्थ, उसको आप ठीक कर सकते। दूसरों को आप बुरा कहेंगे लेकिन अपने को नहीं कहेंगे तो आप कभी नहीं ठीक। ये शरणागत होने का मतलब ये है कि जो कुछ भी अपने अंदर इस तरह की चीजें हैं उसका त्याग कर देना, त्याग कर देना, त्याग कर देना। आज में जो स्वच्छ शुद्ध स्वरूप आपका आत्मा है, उसके दर्शन से ही आप पा रहे, और वो आपको पूरी तरह से इतना समर्थ बनाए, इतना समर्थ कि आप आश्चर्यचकित होंगे कि कितनी समर्थता हमारे अंदर पास है। आज शिव जी की पूजा होनी चाहिए और हो रही है, और आप लोग भी इस वक्त पूरी समर्पण के भाव से, और जो समर्पण का दूसरा हिस्सा है इसमें कि हमने ये पाया है, हम आत्म साक्षात्कार है, हम लाखों में एक, ये हमें प्रदान हुआ है, आशीर्वाद मिला है, और हम इसमें कितना योगदान देंगे, कितना कर पाते, इसका भी अंदाजा लगाना चाहिए। ऐसे तो आप लोग वाकई मेरी तो कल्पना से बाहर है, क्योंकि मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था इतना परिवर्तन मनुष्य आ सकता, कभी नहीं सोचा। उस हिसाब से तो इतना कार्य हो गया है सारे विश्व में कि बहुत आश्चर्य। बहुत समझ की बात है कि लोग जो कि बहुत गलत रास्ते पर खड़े थे, जो बिल्कुल विनाश की ओर जा रहे थे, वो उठकर खड़े हो गए और वो आज हमारे साथ है। इतनी बड़ी चीज है जो शिव का प्रदान हमारे हृदय में उनका जो प्रतिबिंब है, आत्मा स्वरूप है, उसका ये महान आशीर्वाद। और इस आशीर्वाद से आप सब लाभित हैं। बस अब इसको बढ़ाना है, समर्पण से बढ़ाना है और फिर सामूहिकता में से बांटना है। ये एक इंसान के लिए नहीं, ये एक उत्थान के लिए नहीं, ये सबके उत्थान के लिए है। आज जिस कगार पे हमारा विश्व खड़ा हुआ, उससे हमें बचाना है, पूरी तरह से बचाना है। और ये आप लोगों की जिम्मेदारी है। दूसरा जो फिर अपने जीवन में, अपने अंतर में, व्यवहार में, हर चीज में सच को देखना आना चाहिए।
शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा जग सांब सदा शिव है त्रिपुरारी शंभो हृदय निवासी साक्षी स्वरूपी शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा जग जागवा शंभो शंकरा करुणा करा
Being in that state where we know, we assume, because that is the reality, that we are Shiva. We'll offer a short puja to our mother and father. The divine essence of prayer. Salutations to Shri Ganesha, who is the essence of this whole universe. Let our ears hear that which is true. Let our eyes see that which is pure. Let our beings praise that which is divine. And let those who listen hear not my voice, but the wisdom of God. Let us worship with the auspicious song, the appropriate strength, and the propitious knowledge. And let our meditation enlighten and enrich. Let there be amongst us compassion and peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. By your grace, Shri Ganesha, let there be peace within us. Let there be peace in this whole universe. And may entire mankind resonate in this peace and become one with the peace. Salutation Shri Ganesha, Sakshat Shri Jesus, Sakshat Shri Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devai, Namo Namaha. It is you who is the beginning of all the beginnings. It is you who is the doer of all the deeds which have been done, are being done, and will be done. It is you who supports all things that are supported. It is you who protects all things that are protected. It is you who is the complete pervading spirit, God's divine energy. Think clearly, brain, speak only the truth. Shri Ganesha, let your presence awaken in us by Kundalini speak. Let your presence awaken in us by Kundalini listen. Let your presence awaken in us by Kundalini bless. Let your presence awaken in us by Mother Kundalini protect. Let your presence awaken in us by Mother Kundalini. Your disciple be the disciple. For you're the essence of all the sacred literature and holy words. and you're the energy that understands the holy words. You're the divine combination of complete truth, complete happiness, complete energy, and yet you're beyond. You're all knowledge, and you're the use to which the knowledge is put. You exist until the end of all things, and after the end of all things, you are. You create the end of all things, and after the end of all things, you remain indifferent. For you are water, earth, your fire, your air, and you're the space above the air. You're the gunas, and you're beyond the gunas. You're the body, and you're beyond the body. You're the essence of time, and you're beyond time. You and only you exist at the Muladhara chakra. You're the spirit, and you're beyond the spirit, and those who would join God meditate upon you. For you are Shri Brahma, Shri Vishnu, and Shri Rudra, and you're Shri Indra, Agni, and Vayu. You're the sun at noon, and you're the full moon. Through all of these and more, you're the all-pervading energy of innocence and wisdom. You're the divine servant who stoops to wash the feet of saints. You're the tiny core of all things, without which the larger have no purpose. You're the key to the libraries of all the scriptures, without which the truth is hidden. You're the full stop that completes the sentence, without which the sentence loses its meaning. You're the crescent moon, you're the stars, and you're beyond the stars. All things, from tiny dot to universe, are you. You're the future, and you're beyond the future. You're in all forms. You are where the sounds combine. You're the silence between the sounds. You're the rhythm of all music and all prayers. For you are Sri Nirmal Ganesha, and you, Nirmal Ganesha, the master of all knowledge. You're God, and you're the goddess. Om Gam Nirmal Ganpate. To your powers, Sri Ganesha, we all surrender. Let the left side of memory and the right side of action surrender to you, and let your enlightenment prevail. Your first tooth you have, and 4 holy hands, one holding a rope, the second the goad, the third is raised in blessings, and the fourth offers sustenance. Your banner is that of a humble mouse. You have long ears and are clothed in red. Red decorates you, and you're worshipped with red flowers. You have compassion for those who love you, and it is for those who love you that you come on this earth. You're the force that creates, the energy that pervades, and the spirit that blesses. Those who seek union with God pray through you. Those who seek union with God worship you. Om Gam Nirmal Jesus Ye. To your power, Shri Jesus, let all surrender. Let the left side of memory and the right side of action surrender to you, and let your enlightenment prevail. You're the word that was the beginning. You're the word that will be the ending. You are he who was born of a virgin and died on the cross. You are he who absorbs all sins and who died to live again. You're God and man, and you're worshipped with red flowers. For you have compassion for those who love you. And it is for those who love you that you come to this earth. You're the force that creates, the energy that pervades, and the spirit that protects. Those who, those who seek union with God pray through you. Those who seek union with God worship you. Shri Ganesha, salutations to you. Shri Jesus, salutations to you. You who are the beginning of all worship, salutations to you. You who destroy all the powers of evil, salutations to you again and again. Sakshat Son of Lord Shiva, who is unending blessings, salutations to you. Sakshat Son of Mary Mataji, who is unending love, salutations to you. Sakshat Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, who is unending joy, salutations to you. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Very humbly, Sri Ganesha, we pray to you, we surrender to you, that please give us divine wisdom so that we manifest our divinity too. Now we'll offer some names of Shri Mataji and then some names of Lord Shiva. Om Tame Sakshat Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, verily, we are so fortunate that you yourself came on this earth for our redemption. Thank you again and again. Shri Mata, the sacred mother who gives the highest knowledge, Brahma Vidya, to her devotees. Shri Mata, Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri, Shri Mata Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the great Empress, Shri Maharagni. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maharagni Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who emerges for a divine purpose. Shri Deva Karya Samudhyatai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Deva Karya Samudhyatai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who's beyond family, caste, race, or measurable dimensionality. You reside in the Sahasrara, Shri Akula. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Akulai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who cuts the knot of illusion in the solar plexus, allowing your devotees to perceive the unreality of body, mind, and losing the sense of limited I-ness. Shri Vishnu Granthi Vibhedani. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Granthi Vibhedani Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who's the queen of Shri Bhava, that is Lord Shiva, and you're the one who is the giver of life to the entire universe. Shri Bhavani. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhavani Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. You're the one who's fond of her devotees. Shri Bhakti Priya. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhakti Priya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And you can only be realized through devotion. Shri Bhakti Gamyai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bhakti Gamyai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. You're the one who's the bestower of happiness, divine bliss, and you give us the sense of chastity. Shri Sharmadayini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sharmadayini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Verily, Shivaji, you're unsupported, as you're the support of the entire universe. Shri Niradharai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Niradharai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Verily, Shivaji, you're unstained by any limitations whatsoever. For you are Shri Niranjana. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Niranjana Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Verily, Shrimaji, you're untouched by any karmas or dualism, for you're Shri Nirlepa. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirlepai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And the last one. For verily your Shri Nirmala, the great mother who came on this earth to give us salvation and the eternal divine bliss. You're the one who is purity and the source of all purity, Shri Nirmala. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Now we just meditate for a minute and then we'll offer the names of Lord Shiva. To our mother, to our mother and father, we are so blessed that we have the privilege to worship you. And we pray to you that we also become one with you. So that this whole world can be one with you. Om Shivam Shivakaram Shantam Shiva Atmanam Shiva Ottamam. Verily, you're the one who's the auspicious one, the bestower of happiness, peaceful, the blissful soul, the highest felicity. Om Shri Shiva Marga Pranetaram Pranatosmi Shri Sada Shivam. Kindly be our guide on the path of holiness, and we prostrate before you, the one who is the eternal Paramatma, the source of everything. You're the one who's most benevolent and blissful, Sri Shiva. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shiva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who's the bestower of well-being and peace. For you're Sri Shankara. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shankarai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one whose self-existence, Shri Swayambhu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Swayambhu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Verily you're the Lord and protector of all animals. Shri Pashupatihi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pashupatihi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. You're the one who's the source of all forgiveness. Shri Shama Shetrai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shama Shetrai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And you're the one who's the favorite of all devotees. Shri Priya Bhaktai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Priya Bhaktai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the God of love, Shri Kamadeva. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kamadeva Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And you can only be achieved easily by the ones who are saintly. Shri Sadhu Sadhyai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sadhu Sadhyai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. For you're the one who dwells in the lotus of our hearts. Shri Hrit Pundarik Asanai. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Hrit Pundarik Asanai Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. You're the Lord God and the well-wisher of this entire universe. Shri Jagat Hitashi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagat Hitashi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. And the last one, you're the one who's the bestower of all blessings. Shri Shambhu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shambhu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devai Namo Namaha. Now just from the heart, we'll say Shri Mataji Shri Sadashivai Namo Namaha. In the heart. Shri Mataji Shri Sadashivai Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji Shri Sada Shivai Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji Shri Sada Shivai Namo Namaha. We'll just sit silently for a few minutes in this meditative state, soaking it in, and then we'll offer Aarti. Let's all stand up for Aarti.
सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने दिए अवतार, माँ कितने दिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, तू गंगा यमुना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको, माँ सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, लौट के ना जाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला, माँ कर दिया उजियाला। कलयुग में माया है, कलयुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा, हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।